Hello everyone, he's the third gym leader of Kanto from Red's perspective, but the first when Gold arrives for the first time in the center of the region, in the port city of Vermilion City. Yet, he's originally from Unova and is the first American in the franchise. His main Pokemon, Raichu, is as iconic as he is because it's the evolution of the official mascot. Today, we're going to see if Lieutenant Surge can beat the Kanto League in the Pokemon Gold and Silver episodes. For this, we're going to use the 5 Pokemon he has in his Electric-type gym. Here is his team. The first Pokemon is his signature Pokemon, a level 44 Raichu with 3 Electric-type moves, the constant Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave to paralyze, and Thunder for extra damage if needed. Quick Attack is the only coverage move, which is quite worrying for a Pokemon that is supposed to be fast and part of the postgame. The next Pokemon, or rather the next Pokemon, are Electrode. Both of them don't have Electric-type moves. However, they have enough different moves to hurt opposing teams, with their signature move Explosion, Screech to lower the opponent's defense, and Swift for Pokemon that tend to evade. Their last move is Double Team, and we know the power of this move on this channel if we followed previous episodes with Wally and Gardevoir. The fourth Pokemon is a Magneton, quite common in the latest challenges, but without a particularly great move pool, and Zap Cannon doesn't have perfect accuracy. Finally, Electabuzz is the last ace of this team, with, like Raichu, 2 Electric-type damage moves and Quick Attack. The last move is Light Screen, knowing that the only type super effective against Electric is the Ground type, which is physical. So, with our 5 Pokemon in hand, we head to the first competitive room of the Indigo Plateau, where the Psychic Pokemon Specialist, Will, awaits us. He starts the battle with Xatu, and for Raichu, it's an excellent start. With Thunderbolt, Xatu is cooked perfectly, and Will sends out his next Pokemon, Jinx. Without much hesitation, we can continue to spam the A button to keep using Thunderbolt, the most reliable Electric-type move. In 2 turns, we can knock out Jinx. This is called a 2 HKO in strategic terms, meaning a 2-hit knockout. However, we've taken some damage, and the next Pokemon is Exeggutor, which can resist our attack. After looking at the team, we decide to stay with Raichu and paralyze the opponent's Palm Tree. We also attack it, but it can defeat our Electric Mouse with a Psychic Attack, and we respond to this setback by sending in Electrode. As you can see on the screen, Swift is very weak, and since Exeggutor hits hard, we can sacrifice our reverse Pokeball and take down the Grass Psychic Pokemon in the process. Victory is near since the next Pokemon is Slowbro, and we send in Electabuzz to continue the game. One single Thunderbolt is enough to defeat the Water-type Pokemon, and we receive Will's final Pokemon, another Xatu. Electabuzz's Thunderbolt finishes the battle. Will acknowledges his defeat at the White House and lets us pass to face the newly promoted League member, Koga. The former guardian of Fuchsia City has changed a lot since he stopped using coughing. We face him with our Raichu, and the latter continues to use Thunderbolt against the council members Ariados. This move would have been a complete success without the usual double team move, which prevents our Raichu from chaining with a second attack since it misses the latter. No big deal, it's only a matter of time. And in the next turn, the spider flies off to other skies. Fortress is much harder to defeat, so we paralyze it first. But our electric attack is actually quite powerful, so it's a 2 HKO. Venomoth is called to the center, and again, Thunderbolt gets the job done with another 2 HKO. The dream of sweeping Koga might be questioned when Muk arrives on the field. Not only is our Thunderbolt not a 2 HKO, but this Pokemon scores a critical hit with its poison move. If only Raichu were Psychic type. We send in Electabuzz to finish the duel against the only Pokemon Koga kept from his red and blue team, Crobat. Normally, the bat would be burned in less than 2 hits, but Koga takes the opportunity to use Double Team, which hinders our electric Pokemon, as our attacks miss, and Crobat heals itself. Thus, our Pokemon falls, but the damage it dealt is significant enough for us to send an Electrode to finish the battle with Swift. That's 2 out of 2, but the next battle is with Bruno, who has an advantage over our type with his Onix. He starts the battle with Hitmontop, and our Raichu immediately shares its Thunderbolt. It's a 2 HKO, but first, we have to withstand Dig, and in the end, it's okay. The next Pokemon is, of course, Onix, and we switch Pokemon without much thought, sending in Electrode. It can take a hit, allowing it to lower Onix's enormous defense with Screech before falling to this barbarian's attacks. The wind blows on the Indigo Plateau. We send in another Electrode and make it explode to significantly weaken the Stone Serpent. If it doesn't knock it out, it's close. And if we had something other than electric and normal attacks, the matter would already be settled. We send in Electabuzz, which uses Quick Attack first. Onix responds with Sandstorm, which causes chip damage, but overall it's better than an Earthquake. So we can finish with Quick Attack, and Hitmonlee is sent out. It's a 2 HKO, but since the opposing Pokemon crits us with one of its double kicks, we're in the red when we finish the Karateka, and the Sandstorm finishes us off. It's Hitmonchan's turn to enter the battle, and we can bring back Raichu, who continues to deal excellent damage with Thunderbolts. Indeed, it defeats Hitmonchan and leaves us with a signature Pokemon battle against Machamp. The advantage is immediately taken since our electric attack paralyzes the 6-armed fighter who can't attack. It's the same thing on the next turn since Cross Chop only has 80% accuracy, so we can deliver a final blow, which is cancelled due to Bruno's item. Everything has to be redone, and in the next turn, Machamp doesn't miss its attack. The match gets complicated since we have only one Pokemon left, a Steel type. Fortunately, Magneton is faster, and its swift attack can end the encounter. It was close, but the third obstacle is passed, and now it's time to enter Karen's room, with her Pokemon themed around darkness. Her lead is the traditional Umbreon, and we're not going to be subtle, sending in a first Thunderbolt, which unfortunately isn't very powerful. We lose accuracy, but still paralyze the evolution, then switch to Magneton, which also loses accuracy, so we switch back to Raichu. But Umbreon doesn't miss any attacks despite the paralysis and the 25% chance of missing status moves for NPCs in the second generation. So, we call Electrode, which has Swift. It puts the opponent's HP in the red, and if it faints, its clone can come in to finally get rid of Karen's lead. The next Pokemon we face is Vileplume, and for this one, a little double team followed by Screech will help in the duel. Then we can send in Swift to deal maximum damage, and we even manage to withstand Petal Dance. This keeps us competitive enough to defeat the grass poison Pokemon before Gengar finally comes. Too bad, we had a good chance to explode, but it wouldn't affect the opponent, so we choose Screech to lower its defense, even if it won't help our team. So it's Raichu's turn, which can still put Gengar's HP in the orange, and since it uses Curse, it takes itself out. The next Pokemon is Houndoom, and we'll try to take it down before Curse kills us. Our electric attack is a 2 HKO, so we must withstand its fire attack, but it's taken down afterward. The final Pokemon is Murkrow, and oh no, we're out of Thunderbolts. We'll try Thunder to finish off the bird Pokemon, and it hits victory! Karen is defeated without much difficulty since we still had Magneton and Electabuzz as backup, so we can quickly celebrate the victory. And while we heal our Pokemon, I want to invite you to subscribe if you haven't already, because it helps small channels grow and you won't miss the last challenge. Anyway, Lance awaits us in the final room with a team of 6 Pokemon. His lead is Gyarados, and with Mantine, it's one of the only Pokemon quadruple weak to electric attacks, so it's a good lead that we can quickly fry. The next Pokemon is one of his Dragonite, and since we're on a roll, we'll continue using Thunderbolt. By a stroke of luck, we haven't taken any damage as we send the dragon back to its Pokeball. This tactic works the same way when Lance sends in another Dragonite into the fray. In 3 hits, it's knocked out without being able to attack. So we face the last Dragonite, the level 51, which is actually illegal since Dragonair evolves at level 55. This one manages to land a Hyper Beam, which we barely survive, but it's enough to send back Thunderbolts that put Lance in a precarious position. According to some theories, Lance captured the Electrode from the Rocket hideout in Mahogany and gave them to our character. Charizard enters the dance, but again, Pikachu's evolution disposes of Charmander's evolution with a simple electric attack. Finally, Aerodactyl comes out, and since it's fast, it prevents us from sweeping the champion with one Pokemon using Hyper Beam. So, we return to the bag, probably for the last time in this league, and send an Electabuzz. Its Thunder Punch isn't strong enough to take down the Pokemon in one hit, but it's resilient enough to tank the ultimate attack from the ultimate Pokemon of the ultimate trainer of the league. That's it, we can pop the champagne. Lieutenant Surge has beaten the league, using only electric and normal attacks. Quite a performance, and we'll try not to tarnish it when we head to Mount Silver, the neighboring domain of the league, where Red, more commonly called by fans, and everyone else, is located. But before that, a word to those who don't understand why I don't level up the Pokemon before facing the post-game boss of each league challenge. I choose the exact teams of the trainers in the games, at their exact level, so it's the game itself and its developers that set the challenge parameters, and I see no reason to arbitrarily decide that a trainer should have an extra Pokemon, or that I can level up the team by 10 levels. It allows for a more objective comparison, even if unfortunately Brock doesn't have a Zubat or Misty a Gyarados, but it makes more sense to let the NPCs and the game itself decide the teams for this type of challenge. Sometimes it works, like with Timmy, and more often it doesn't at the post-game stage. This is also the case here with Lieutenant Surge, who cannot take revenge against Red, despite Pokemon with Double Team. It would take incredible luck to pass all the Pokemon, especially since Espeon has Swift for the Jokers who want to evade. So, mission impossible for our American, who must forfeit and return to Vermilion City, where sailors sing. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment below and smash the like button. See you soon for new adventures with a little oral teaser. Petal.